Archdeceivers are a class in themselves. These are individuals who have been deceiving mankind and the very elect, if they could, for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. So we will begin with the very first one, Thomas Malthus, father of the population explosion theory. Number one, Archdeceiver, Malthus, Malthus, Thomas Malthus. If Thomas Malthus never existed, it would have been necessary for the power elite to invent him. He is pivotal in their argument to the present hour. His arguments affect the medical profession today. I can remember when abortion became popular, and my own gynecologist, arguing for abortion and population control, said to me, well, we have scientific facts and figures, and we know what the result of the population explosion will do, therefore we must limit births. And all he was doing was parroting lies that have been passed from one to the other for more than a century. There are no substantiating facts for Malthus' theories or for the population explosion itself. It is the most insidious, serpentine lie that is simply carried on and on in the name of science, and it is totally unscientific. It's like the blind followers of the blind. It's like a storybook I had that showed these people walking with their noses in the air, following the first guy with his nose in the air, and they all walk off the bridge into the river. It's one of these supercilious acts that is actually transpiring on this planet, and the challengers are not there to challenge them because the lie is supported by the false hierarchy of the Nephilim from the astral plane, from the very pits of hell itself. It is unbelievable that a lie as gross as this could persist, but the truth of the matter is it does persist. And right now, this very moment, remember, hundreds of abortions are being performed in this country because of this lie. So listen carefully. Malthus combined economic theory with a poorly hidden bias that the powerful rich were superior in every way to the undeserving poor. In so doing, he became the founding father of scientific racism. According to author Alan Chase, quote, "Scientific racism is essentially the perversion of scientific and historical facts to create the myth of two distinct races of humankind. What we know is the power elite and the rest of us. Scientific racism has only one function: to preserve the type of social arrangements that had prevailed before the writing of the Constitution of the new United States of America." Malthus created the economic rationale for population control at a time when economics was an embryonic science. As such, he can justly be considered to be the father of the population control movement in modern history. When you find out who originates the spiral, you know he is the perversion of the 12 o'clock line of the great blue causal body, the great divine director, and you go after that anti-God manifestation personified as anti-father. We're going to talk about a lot of fathers, but they're not fathers of light. They are perversions of that flame of Alpha. Malthus published his great revelation in 1798. Almost 200 years we've been laboring under this lie of the serpents. It was an essay on the principle of population as it affects the future improvement of society. The immediate influence of Malthus' theory on population and social policy was very great. His career blossomed. He became the first professional economist. In 1805, he became a professor of history and political economy at the East India Company's College at Halberry, Hertfordshire. In 1819, he was elected as a Fellow to the Royal Society. In 1821, he became a member of the Political Economy Club. In 1824, he was elected one of the 10 Royal Associates of the Royal Society of Literature. In 1834, he co-founded the Statistical Society of London. He was elected to the French Academy de Sciences, Morale de Politique, and to the Royal Academy of Berlin, all of which was a remarkable achievement since the basic proposition that Malthus espoused was false. How do they put it over on the people? You have to understand the power of the human aura. These fallen ones, having been in the upper echelons of the hierarchy of angels before their fall and their descent and their casting out of heaven, had enormous desire bodies, had a great accumulation of light. When they move among the little people, whether the children of God or the mechanization man, they are larger in physical stature most of the time, but not always. But they always have larger auras. Their auras are tremendously influential. They walk into a room and everyone bows and scrapes. They know they are different. They sense they are of a different order. And by the very projection of the aura, everyone feels inferior to the Nephilim. This is the consciousness of the entire planetary body. You need to watch it in yourself. The power elite command a respect that they do not deserve. And it is the projection and misuse of the aura that they had in the hour of their fall. You watch people in any circles, social circles or business circles, and you look at the people who have influence over the whole room or the whole setup, the business, the bank, etc. It's one or two or three individuals who have an entirely different type of aura that seems to swallow up everyone around them. Whatever they say sounds like it's pontificating from Almighty God. It sounds like the end word and the final word, and people fall over and obey. You can understand that of mechanization man because they are the offspring of these fallen ones. They're the only gods they know. To them they are gods. But what you cannot understand is why the children of the light bow and scrape and worship these fallen ones. And that is what is so insidious, and that's why we are having a revolution. To get those children of the light back to God, back to their threefold flame, to show them how these fallen ones have distorted religion and their understanding of God and stripped them of their mighty I Am presence, how they have lured them, caused them to worship computers and the machine and the brain without the heart, and cause them to go running after the power elite as though they were their gods. This is the most insidious part of their takeover. Not that mechanization man follow them, it's to be expected, but that the children of the light could be so deceived and so manipulated. This is why we are here, because it is unbearable to the sons and daughters of God. It is unbearable to the archangels who lead in this battle of Armageddon. Malthus had his entire theory backwards. What he did not realize was that prior to the modern age, traditional societies grew in numbers very gradually, while their food supplies multiplied logarithmically for each new cultivator. Malthus had the formula reversed. As you go on in your education and you move in circles that are involved in this population control, you will find out just how insidious are these threads that have descended. Obviously stupid? No. They're not obvious to most of the people who go on parroting them. And this is what you have to understand. The unbelievable fact that you can go to the scientific community, go to professors, and they never thought of these very points. That's exactly what our research staff did. They went and presented this side of Malthus and others, and they had never heard it before.